to get straight into it first, I do want to note, obviously, I mean, you would have heard this stock did get battered recently on just basically news or rumours that Credit Suisse was just having financial hardship, essentially. And again, usually like we see, the overreaction happened. We are starting to bounce a bit. I mean, we went down to a low of 350, back to around 470. Now, I can see us kind of staying around this area, at least until kind of more news or rumours come out about the stock. But we will get straight into the technical side, and obviously do remember fundamentals are always the key driver. So if you see a big rumour come out or deny or any confirmation or anything really just related to the fundamentals, this stock may break straight through these technicals. The time you use technicals is when, well, really there is no fundamental news. You play the news first, or you play the fundamentals first, and then you move on to the technicals. Or if you're looking to play the fundamentals, then you can use technicals sometimes to find your entries, just making sure you've got tight stops. But anyway, straight into the levels. 550, if we do start continuing to the upside, 550 is going to be that key resistance. I do think we will struggle going around this level. We can see this is kind of where it was basically just consolidating around before all this news of their kind of money troubles started. So seeing it come back to this level, I do think that will kind of be, well, go back to its so-called fair value at that level. But if we did break it for any reason, then we would be paying attention to $6. If we broke that, it'd be $6.80, $8, $8.30. And then we'll be looking at $9.75, $10 and $12 as final levels. But really, on something like this, I mean, you see it in near enough all or across the European stocks as it is, but especially European banks, they are much behind the US banks because I guess mainly is going to be down to the regulation out of Europe. But really, they're not a bad one. If they're coming into these kind of levels, something I personally look to take short a lot of the times because, again, we just know the European banks are a lot weaker than their US counterparties. And especially in hard times, European banks aren't making near enough anything. US banks are going to struggle a bit more than they do in a good market. But really, US banks are usually a lot more steady. I mean, you have JP Morgan, you have Goldman Sachs. They're always going to be fine in these kind of markets. Whereas the Credit Suisse, the Deutsche Bank, they are going to struggle a bit more. So it's not always a bad shout if they are pushing up. Instead of using these more as targets on the longs, they can just be areas to maybe start scalping or even kind of day trading short. Again, usually I'm not holding, if I'm shorting shares, not going to be something I hold overnight because you just never know what news is going to come out, especially on something like Credit Suisse at the moment. But if we did continue down, what are support levels I would be paying attention to? So this $4 level, I do think will be quite key. Again, statistical mean on both the 6-month and the 1-year chart. Also that key psychological level. So if we start to fade down on kind of no news, so this would be the key thing. If we have no kind of news or rumours coming out about Credit Suisse, which it has kind of been a bit more quiet coming into this week, if we come down to the 4 and start fading below it, that would create some concern for the stock and we would probably continue to fade. And where would our targets be? So on a technical level, we would be looking around 260 to around 205. Obviously, do note we're going to have some probably difficulty staying at that 52-week low, so at 350. And considering it moved there on fundamentals, if we're moving there more on a fade, it may be harder to break it. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But these were the key levels. We're paying attention to the downside, key levels to the upside. And again, you don't need to pay attention to all of these levels because there is a lot of them. So all you ever need to do is just pay attention really to where we are now. So all you would pay attention to as of right now is the $4 level and the 550. If we come to the 550, depends how you're looking to play it. If you're playing it short, depending what your confirmation criteria is, again, that's the only level you need to pay attention to. If you're someone who's looking to take it long bias, you want to wait for that break, come back for a retest and hold that as a support. If that holds, then it's a good kind of probability that we will continue up. And on the other hand, all you have to do is pay attention to this level as well, the 405. If we start to fade down, can we hold it? If so, look for that potential bounce and again use that confirmation that you would use for your own strategy. And if we are looking to fade down, again, you want to see that break below, come back to retest it as a resistance. And if you see selling pressure kick in, it's an indication we'll probably fade down to that 52-week low and in time fade even further. Anyway, that is the breakdown on Credit Suisse. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not drop a like and subscribe and check out one of these 2 analysis videos.